Hi, welcome to the award-winning Ed Brown Show. That's something real special here. And you know my friend here, that Larry Colbert, he has so much talent. We're going to talk about the talent that he experienced when the black jockeys were very prevalent in this area. And all the different tracks, Bel Air, Upper Marlboro, all the different tracks that participated back there. Tell us when the racing in Maryland, you had black jockeys. What is 1885?
1875.
1875.
Yep.
They had black jockeys. Tell us a little bit about the history of the black jockeys.
Okay, well, Mr. Brown, how I got involved in racehorses myself.
And you're a native of Bowie.
I'm a native of Bowie.
So you were part of the Bel Air.
Part of Bel Air and stuff like that. I lived on the farm. I had 5 uncles to live on the farm, a Bel Air farm. And back during then, 2 of my uncles, my Uncle Henry and my Uncle Charlie, they were the ones that worked with the thoroughbred racehorses. My Uncle Frank, my Uncle Joe, they did the farm area, the crops and stuff like that. Uncle Paul and
he did the horse area. Huh?
Yeah, they did more of the farm area, raising the crops and stuff like that, taking care of the Clydesdale horses, that the plow.
They had the plowing horses, because that's a workhorse.
That's the workhorse.
Yeah,
those are the ones that used to plow the fields back in those days, along with before they got a whole lot of moving equipment like tractors,
machinery.
Right. But my Uncle Henry and Uncle Charlie, they used to come. When I was living in Bowie, right there on the railroad tracks, they used to come up in Bowie and pick up Mr. Woodrick. Mr. Woodrick was the man that owned this big farm, plantation, I would call it. And one of his pet peeves
plantation was called Bel Air. And right today, if you want to, a section of Bowie, it's called Bel Air.
Bel Air Drive and all that.
All that on Bel Air Drive that was associated with horse racing.
That's true. That's true. And what they used to do, they would ship the horses, the brood mares and the stud horses was down in Lexington, Kentucky, on a farm down there.
Yeah.
And the farm they had was called Calumet Farm.
Oh yeah, Calumet is well known.
Well known thoroughbred racehorse and stuff like that.
And Lexington, that's where my grandson is, and all of them are down there in Lexington.
That's right.
That's a beautiful country.
Oh, lovely country.
I mean, you can tell the horse country because they all have the
bluegrass,
bluegrass, and they have the white fence.
There you go, pretty white fence all around.
Pretty white fence when you come into Lexington. That's where the University of Kentucky is and all of that, you know.
That's true.
But Maryland reminds me of that because it's some remnants of the horse racing days. Because here you have Laurel,
you have Pimlico, you have Bowie, Bowie racetrack.
Upper Marlboro. A lot of people don't realize that Upper Marlboro had a track too. But tell us the difference in the tracks in Maryland as far as distance is concerned, and how they participate in the horse racing industry.
Okay, now where I was raised and brought up on the track, I was at the thoroughbred racetrack, and that was Bowie. Bowie was a mile racetrack. Laurel also was a mile racetrack. Pimlico also was a mile racetrack. Then you had Upper Marlboro. That was a half a mile racetrack. Then you had one up in Baltimore, the Timonium. That was a half a mile racetrack.
Yeah.
And then there was also one up in Bel Air, Maryland. They didn't last long. Well, they was all half a mile tracks. But
usually the Triple Crown is a mile track.
Right. Triple Crown is a mile
and
track.
how many of those are in Maryland?
There's only one leg they run in Maryland, the Triple Crown. First you run the Kentucky Derby. That's the first leg of the Triple Crown. The second leg is run, is run at Pimlico. That's the second leg. The third leg is run in Belmont. That's
Belmont.
Yeah. And if you went
that's
all
the
mile
triple
tracks.
That's the all mile tracks.
Mile tracks, yes.
Okay.
And
now,
they got
go ahead.
but they have different distance that horse had to run at each one of those tracks.
Well, in training the horse, just like do they train him if he runs a mile? When you're training him, when you train him 2 miles, so when mile come up, he can.
Right.
You know, in other words, if he's generally runs the mile or a half mile, whatever, you double that when you're training.
Right, right. You're overtrained to go further than a mile.
Okay.
Then you have your speed horses that go a 16th of a mile or stuff like that.
Okay. Now, what a lot of people don't know, but what about the pacers?
Okay.
Now the pacers have to be trained, or they have to be faster. How does that work into the training of the horses?
Well, that depends on your trainer, depend on your horse. If he can go, he's got a speed horse. The speed horse, you train him for shorter races, shorter distance. Mile a horse, you have to train him, prepare him to go over a mile, a mile and a half, a mile and 3/16, a mile and 3/4. He has to be trained. And
isn't that part of the pacers? You have a horse that now I don't know. Now you have a horse what they call a pacer. He sets the pace. How does that work?
Well, you tell pacers that. They don't use that term too much around the track when you talk about thoroughbred. You talking about a trotter, boom, 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 like he like harness.
No,
he got a pace, he got to run different.
Oh, that's different.
Yeah, different paces. Yeah.
The pacers they're not involved in the half-mile track.
No, these horses is trained to go fast or longer distance. And that's what they're what's called speed horses.
Speed horses. I see.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, let's get back to the black jockeys. A lot of the people out there, they don't realize that the industry was back then, 1800s. Yeah. The jockeys was mostly African Americans.
Most of your jockeys was Afro Americans back during the day, and our first Kentucky Derby was won by an Afro-American jockey. His name was Oliver Lewis. And at that first Derby they ran, they had something like 15-horse field. That means the field, they had 15 horses competing in that Kentucky Derby.
Wow.
13 of them were Afro-Americans jockeys.
13 out of 15?
Yeah, they were Afro-American jockeys back then. It was plenty of them. Right. And like I said, Oliver Lewis won the first Kentucky Derby and back in 1875.
1875.
And then we went on, and the jockeys went on and on. And then we had Murphy. He won 3.
You can check your notes.
Yeah, I got to look at. He won 3 Kentucky Derbies as an Afro-American jockey. And he was inducted into the Thoroughbred Hall of Fame back then in I think it was 1955.
Is that
for
right?
winning 3.
1955.
He was inducted
and what was
into
his name?
Thoroughbred Hall of Fame. His name is Oliver Murphy.
Murphy.
Yeah, yeah, he was that. He did that. And then they went on from there, continue on. And with with the Afro-American jockey. But if you would like to know and read upon the Afro-American history of the black jockeys, we have a museum right here on
in Prince George County.
Prince George County, right there, down there on Bel Air Drive. The horse stable, everything is there. Where Gallant Fox was one of your Triple Crown winners, with my uncle Henry and Charlie took care of as a groom. Right? As a groom.
As a groom.
Right. They took care of him. And then they kept him, they broke the yearling, they call them yearlings when you're a young horse, and they shipped those horses from Lexington, Kentucky to Bowie. And then, back then, I didn't walk any of them, but as I got older, they walk them from Bowie all the way down to 197, down to the farm, right here down to the farm.
Is that right? From 197?
Yeah, we walk them down there.
The roads were dirt then, right?
It was dirt roads, stuff like that. We walked them down, and they were wild, crazy, young horses.
Right.
Then when they got to the farm, they trained them, they groomed them, took care of them, stuff like that, and they prepared them to go to the racetrack. Then after they prepared them to go to the racetrack, then the trainer he taken over, and they had other grooms that traveled with the horses throughout the I would say the state of Maryland, New York, places like where.
You know, just like have bench and substitutes in all other sports, do they have backup for the jockeys?
Well, okay,
You
now
know.
there's a bunch of jockeys, a lot of jockeys, and you pick the jockey that you think is suitable for your horse. Then you may have the jockeys that working on in your stable that's just gallop the horses and stuff like that. So he knows the horse just as good as the groom and the trainer know the horse. He might know him better, how his distance, how he hold him and let him run. So he might have his own private jockey, but he could ride anybody's horse.
Anybody could
Get the jockey. Say, well,
as far as the jockey is concerned, you could say, "Hey, I'll ride," and you get a certain percentage. How do they? How do they split the money?
Well, in the money, you get big bucks to ride. Then, because if you ride, you're one of the top jockeys in the area. I want him on my horse because he knows how to ride. He's a You have in the jockey field, you have top-notch jockeys. Who's the leading jockeys? Just like who is the top-notch horse. You know, so you want him to ride because he's good. You know, he knows how to handle your
What was that jockey I used to hear about? Shoemaker?
Shoemaker?
Now,
he was one of the top jockeys.
Now the Shoemaker, now I'm not a horse, but I remember
jockeys,
Shoemaker, the name Shoemaker was a fabulous name.
That's
right. He really participated in in the horse racing field.
He knew what he was doing.
And you were saying that the black jockey, in 1875, he was in that category
in that
too.
category back then. He's one of the top jockeys. And Murphy, he also was one of the top jockeys because he won what, 3 Triple Crown? I mean 3 Kentucky Derbies. So you would want him to ride your horse, because he knows what he's doing.
And is there any rule about selection of jockeys? Who does the owner is the only one that makes the decision, or do you have like the different sports have like a team that supervise the situations, like horses that qualify and don't qualify, and qualifying a horse. Are you familiar with how they qualify a horse? Is it by timing?
Yeah, by timing. No, not by he works the horse out in the morning. He gets home, he trains the horse in the morning, and the trainer tells him how far he wants to work that horse that morning.
Say, well, I want
just
him
like
to work,
I'm a coach at
2 miles.
Yeah, 2 miles and stuff like. He tells him what he wants because he got to know his horse, just like the groom got to know the horse condition, his body, his eating habits and stuff like that. He has to know everything about that animal. It's just like,
and diet too. I'm sure that
diet, everything.
I'm sure that the diet. Well, most people are not familiar with this. What is the favorite diet? Most of us think in terms of hay, but
it's
what
oats.
is
Oats.
Oats.
Yeah,
Oats. That's one of the number one
diet. It's oats.
Huh?
Yeah, oats. And then you can fix a diet, your brand. You call it a brand. You can add other supplements into his diet.
Oh, right. Nutritional.
Nutrition stuff that you add into it.
But is there a ruling on that? Just like now they say, well,
steroids.
Right now, this Russian tennis player, they suspended her because she was involved with some drugs.
Okay, what to do, Mr. Brown? Like when a horse wins a race, you probably don't pay too much.
He has to go through
he has to go
checkup.
We call it a P-man. They use other words, but we call it the P-man.
P-man.
As soon as he finishes his race, you take him in the store, he takes a slobber. He runs a slobber.
The veterinarian.
No, this is the veterinarian does.
Yeah, that's what I mean, the veterinarian.
He take a slobber test. Then he keeps that. Then you take the horse to the barn to wash him down, cool him down, wash him up, prepare him to cool his body back down. So you walk the horse around the shed for anywhere from an hour and a half.
That long?
Yeah, some of them longer than that.
Is
and
that
then
right?
after you walk him so long, maybe say about half an hour, then he wants to go let empty his bladder. So
Right.
you put him in the stall, and they'll do a thing to make him pee. They'll and then he'll pee. Then he takes a pee sample, ball that up, and takes it back to the lab.
And you go take that to the
See
lab.
if anything wrong with it, putting any drugs, stuff like that.
Right.
So they do that. Every horse that wins a race is being tested.
Well, if you don't win, you don't have to worry about it.
If you don't win, I don't need to get enough. So they just like they're doing human being athletes now.
Right.
I mean, you say, well, Colbert, I'm about to just finish running. And I get a pee sample from him.
Right.
Then I gotta give him a pee sample,
Right.
just to see if anything in my system that's not supposed to be in there.
And actually, the horse go through that before and after.
No, they go through it afterwards. Not
Afterwards.
before. Afterwards. They're testing everyone. That's saliva. Then they take a pee sample.
Right.
And then they take it back to the lab, and then they analyze it. It's being gone through a test. But like you said, a groom, he should know his horse as good as he know himself.
Right.
Because he
and
gotta
the horse,
wash him,
but
groom
it's a relationship too.
develop to each other.
A lot of people don't know that that's what causes a horse to rebel when he bucks people off his back or something. Is that you have to have a rapport with the horse, just like the horse probably knows the trainer, the groom, and all of
He
those.
knows who takes care of him.
Yeah, that's what I mean. And he responds, to them because they know the procedure. That they've been through the procedure. But for instance, if I go down and try to do those things, man, he kick me out of the, because really it sounds simple, but it's a technique in getting those samples.
That's right.
And it's a technique and procedure that the horse get accustomed to.
That's true.
And if a stranger come in,
He knows what you doing. And bam, he
that's
might
what I
kick
mean.
you, man.
If a stranger comes in, he reacts negatively.
That's true. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So, really, what makes a horse really perform is his attitude. If he's haven't been treated like he should or something, he won't cooperate.
You're right.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
He has ways of rebelling.
Yeah, because he knows he goes through that system every day. Every day. You feed him at a certain time in the morning. You take him out. You groom him down. Prepare him for his workout in the morning. After you prepare him, get him all clean, and put the jockey come on. Put him on an exercise guy. Then I call him. Put him on the horse, and the trainer tell him, "I want you to jog, blow him out, maybe 3/4 of a mile, 2 or 3 laps around the track." Then he comes back. Then the groom, which I learned to be a groom.
Oh, you learned to be a groom,
Oh, yeah, I got to be a groom. After I walked horses for so long, then I got to be a groom. And every groom usually takes care of 3 horses at the most. So you got 3 horses you have to prepare for his workout and his races and stuff like that. And then after you want to do all that, the horse knows what you're going to do.
Yeah.
Then after you finish, you warm them down. Then you got to brush him off, comb him, and when you massaging him, then.
What about the veterinarian? How often does he check his health?
Okay, the veterinarian, unless something is wrong with the horse, he might not be eating well. If his horse is not eating well, you check his teeth, check his mouth. There's something wrong while he's not eating. So do you alarm the trainer? You
alarm the trainer,
and the trainer have a veterinarian come. He look at it. He might got some caps on his teeth. His teeth might need filing. Just like we have toothache.
Yeah, right.
Same way.
See,
if a horse started limping, you got to know why he's limping. His shins, somewhere is hurting.
Right.
I need to pick his feet out. He might got some.
He might have arthritis.
So they had the same ailment that a human
being, because you're dealing with bones, and you're dealing with structure, and you're dealing with weight.
Oh yes, yes. See, when you grooming him, I mean, if I'm rubbing you down like this, boom, you on like this, man, I'm gonna feel good.
Good, right.
And then I tell you
that relax you.
Yep. I tell you how
not relax your muscle and your mind.
Yep. But you tell how a horse, they call it sharp. If a horse is sharp, you're rubbing him, and he kicking at me. I touch him here, biting at you. That's when you know when the horse is feeling good, he's sharp. Now if the horse, he ain't doing nothing. But you just doing this to him, he's jumping. And he's ready.
And he's moving around. That shows you're doing a good job.
Yes, right. And the other thing is, Mr. Brown, they call it, and it was a thing about on the track, grooms, who had the prettiest horse, just like who had the prettiest car, who had the shiniest car.
Right.
You know, you
Yeah.
want your car to
Groom,
look good.
right.
You want your horse to look good. They call dappers.
Dappers.
You could rub him so much and had little brown spots all over his butt or on his hip. That's called dappers. Then you want your horse looking good. When you go to the paddock, man, people bet on horses by how he looks.
Right.
You know, it's tapered inside. You know, you know. So
speaking of the betting, prior to the race, can people they can go to the stable and look at the horse, or
well,
what's the ruling? On
okay,
that?
now you're not allowed on the backstretch. You just can't walk in there and around the stable. See, I had to have a pass. I had a pass to go in. You know, you got to be almost not fingerprinted, but you got to have a ID.
ID.
You just can't walk in on the stable in the stable
Right.
gate. We call it the backstretch.
Right.
But what you can do, you can come out there in the morning and watch the horse work out in the morning.
And that's an important part of selecting a horse.
Oh yeah, you watch how he works out.
See how he works out. Then you become an expert yourself. You know of how you can tell sometimes a horse is antsy or something like that. You wonder, you know, there's something wrong, like you were saying.
Yeah,
and if the horse, I mean, are you allowed to go there the day of the race, or you can't do?
Only time that you go as a spectator or something like that. Only time that you can go is when the horse is carried to the paddock to be ready to race. Then you can be up in the grandstand. You can be looking at the horse as he walk down. You know, so you can see him then.
But nobody's allowed in the paddock.
No, you're not allowed in the paddock. Now you can stand around the paddock and watch the jockey put the horses on them and stuff like that, and then you go bet. But to come around where you can almost put your hands on them and stuff like that, no, you can't do that. You're not allowed on the, and like they call it, the backstretcher. You're not allowed in the stable area. You know.
Okay, now, what is the life of a jockey? I mean, he goes through a routine with his horse. But does he have to travel around the different tracks to get a good horse or a job? In other words, I may race, run in Pimlico, and then I go down to Kentucky, and then I go up to New York. How a jockey's life is it is mobile?
Well, a jockey's life is just like the horse life. Wherever the horses go, most of your jockeys follow. Okay, so if they're running in Bowie, well, all the jockeys going to be in Bowie. Then if the races go to Pimlico, they're going to go to Pimlico. Go to Belmont.
Whether they have an assignment or not.
Right, they go. They follow their. Because I ride for this. See, so I'm riding Mr. Brown. Okay, you the trainer. Right. See, I'm riding. Some of the trainers have certain jockeys that ride for them.
Right.
So just like Eddie Carroll, he rode Gallon Fox. He rode most of old man Woodrick thoroughbred racehorses. We had Gallon Fox. Then he had Nashu, big horses named like that. That's going. The thoroughbred horses that we call it money making horses. Big money.
Money making. Yeah. So basically, the jockeys they travel
from track to track.
I mean, but they don't have a contract. What, do you have a contract with the owner? Is that the way they get paid?
Well, some of them has a contract to ride for, say, Mr.
You're riding for a stable?
Yeah, stable.
Okay.
So I'm riding for the stable.
So the stable can really hire you, and then you follow the horses around the country.
And then again, you can say it's time your top-notch jockey. It might be Belmont or New York, maybe racing at the same time Bowie is, or Maryland. Then, but I want so-and-so to come down and ride my horse. So they send for him to come to ride.
They can do that?
Oh, yeah, they can do that. They can come from California. They can come from overseas now. And now, most of your jockeys now is Mexicans.
No,
Hispanics and
Hispanics.
Oh, man,
most of the jockeys are Hispanics.
Because they don't get big. They get
yeah,
most of your
right.
Spanish jockeys.
But that's what I'm saying. The size has a lot to do with it. So
yes.
that's one of the natural things. Hispanics generally are small in nature anyway. But the African Americans, they
seems to get bigger.
Yeah,
we get big. I could gallop horses and stuff
well,
like that. But I couldn't
is there a weight requirement for the jockey?
There is a weight requirement. Yeah.
Okay, what is the weight?
Okay, base your weight requirement. Most of your jockeys gonna weigh anywhere from
about
maybe
130,
115, and the more you the more you weight, they can't put weight on you. See, if you're lightweight, you want the lightest guy can get on your horse because the horse ain't carrying so much weight.
Right.
And then if this horse is a certain would it depend on how the race is set up. They may have to put weight on you, you know, to make that.
Oh, they want you to
so many pounds you got to carry. So the race
go out and get you 2 hamburgers, man, 2 cheeseburgers, man.
No, but they got a little thing they just put weight on you, you know, stuff like that.
What do you mean?
Little pouch.
Pouches?
Yeah, they stick weight on you.
So
you got to carry.
Is that allowed in the race?
Yes, depending on how the race is set up. How it's read.
A jockey can put
it carries so much weight, a pound.
He can carry so much weight. In other words, he weighs 120. He can take a 50-pound belt and put it around him.
They put little things in it, you know.
Huh?
See,
that is allowed.
Oh, it's allowed. See, the race is where the race say you run races say maybe a mile and a half. And the jockey's got to carry so much weight. Certain pounds of weight to be even with the other jockeys.
Okay, well, tell us a little more. We got to wrap this up. Tell us a little more about the African-American jockeys and why you think they disappeared, and where is the information we talked about. Anyone out there, you need to take the youngsters to the museum. It's located right here in Prince George County. Well, tell us first about the first question: why is it that the African American jockeys disappeared when they had, what was it, 13 out of 20 or something at one time, and that they had a terrific record in racing, but now most of them Hispanics. And where is this? Tell us once again where the museum is located.
The museum is located right on Bel Air Drive. And if you come down 450, just hit Bel Air Drive, and Bel Air Drive will take you right off to your right. Will take you, or either, depending on which way you come in.
And all this history?
The stable is right there, the old stable. You even have the stalls where Gallon Fox was in. You have all the history of the black jockeys all on the wall.
Is that right? You have the history of the black jockeys on the wall?
Right on the wall.
No
You
kidding.
go right here and you can read about it. And why they're not riding down is, I guess everything's about money and stuff like that.
You think
it's an empire. It's big money in it, you know.
It's big money in it.
Big money.
But do you think they start having weight problems?
Well, so they say. Afro-Americans seem to get bigger.
Each generation.
Each generation get bigger. Back then, our Afro-Americans people then, they were small people. Yeah. They didn't get big that quick. Now, I could gallop a horse, but I couldn't ride a horse. Look at my feet. You know, I mean, but simply, basically, you know, that's what it was. They get soon to get bigger.
So they start.
We got some outstanding exercise guys, should be jockeys, but they just can't carry the weight. You know, weight is, and they can't put weight on weight because it doesn't fit for that. Right. Doesn't fit for that race.
Okay, hey, this is we got Larry Colbert here. I say he's everything. So what we got here, visit that horse museum. I mean, hey, it's right. Take the kids down there. Okay, this has been Ed Brown. Thanks a lot, Larry.
All right.